Welcome to episode 15 of the Reading Finnegans Wake in 200 Sessions podcast, where we analyze Finnegans Wake by James Joyce 3 pages at a time. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Hello and welcome to the Deep Dive. I'm really excited for the journey we're about to embark on today. We're diving deep into the wonderfully intricate, sometimes bewildering, but always fascinating world of James Joyce's Finnegans Wake. Specifically, we're focusing on chapter 3, pages 53 to 55. Now, for those of you maybe new to the Wake, or even if you know it well, think of these pages as, well, a perfect little window into its amazing complexity.
Absolutely. It's like a concentrated dose of the whole Wake experience in just 3 pages.
Exactly. It's this swirling mix. You've got narrative fragments, echoes of history, these incredible linguistic acrobatics Joyce is famous for, and identities just shifting all over the place. So our mission today really is to try and gently untangle some of these threads. We want to pull out the key nuggets of insight, maybe reveal some of the surprising facts Joyce has woven in there.
And he does weave them in, doesn't he? Often quite mischievously.
He really does. We'll explore how what seems like a simple encounter, maybe a simple description, can just explode into this whole universe of meaning.
And that's really the magic of it, isn't it? Engaging with Joyce, especially these pages, it's such a unique challenge, but the reward, it's immense. What's so striking here is how Joyce takes maybe a single moment, or often a character, usually our friend HCE, Humphrey and just refracts him through countless lenses. Linguistic, historical, cultural.
Like a prism.
Exactly like a prism. It's not about following a straight line. You're getting this kaleidoscopic view of human experience, constantly shifting, blending, evolving. So as we dive in, you'll find yourself seeing multiple perspectives on what seems like one event, hearing this symphony of different languages, and really questioning what identity even is, what storytelling is.
It's literature pushed to its limits, really.
That's a great way to put it. It's most ambitious.
Okay, so let's unpack this right from the top, page 53, line 7. Joyce opens with this scene, and on the surface, you might think, oh, okay, a nice peaceful Irish landscape.
But it's never just that with Joyce, is it?
Never. He immediately starts layering it with meaning, often contradictory meaning. So the journey begins, we read, with Jonty jogging on an Irish vis-à-vis, steadily with shoulder to shoulder. That jaunty jogging, it gives you a sense of light movement, maybe a bit bouncy, unsteady.
Joggling, almost.
Joggling, yeah. And they're on an Irish vis-a-vis. Now, I looked this up. A traditional Irish jaunting car, people usually sit back-to-back facing out.
Right.
But a vis-a-vis carriage, that means face-to-face.
So straight away, there's a contradiction, or at least a twist.
A twist, exactly. It hints we're dealing with multiple viewpoints. Maybe he's deliberately misdirecting us a little, setting the stage for ambiguity.
And then steadily with shoulder to shoulder, which seems to clash with the unsteadily implied by jogging.
But it also echoes something, doesn't it?
That song, Boys of the Old Brigade, yeah.
That line suggests a kind of united effort, camaraderie, even if the ground beneath them is a bit shaky. Companionship, but with that typical Joycean complexity underneath. It's amazing how much is packed into just those first few words.
And it's this immediate layering that just pulls you in. What's remarkable is how quickly he moves from this seemingly simple, local Irish scene to something, well, epic, multicultural, universal even. Right there, Jehu will tell to Christiania, saint to sage. Now, Jehu isn't just some random driver. He's from the Bible, known for furious chariot driving.
A sense of urgency, almost prophecy.
Exactly. And it points to this grand narrative arc, the telling of a story, of history. From Jew to Christian, saint to sage, it spans everything.
And Christiania.
Ah, yes. That's the old name for Oslo, Norway, Christiania, before it went back to being Oslo.
Wow. So he's immediately pulling in geography, history, name changes.
Global shift. It connects the local Irish setting to this much bigger picture. This isn't just an Irish story. It's framed as a human epic right from the get-go.
The scope just explodes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
From a bumpy carriage ride to, well, everything.
Yeah.
And then he tells us what this story is. The Humphreyiad of that fall and rise.
The Epic of Humphrey, HCE. A clear nod to Homer's Iliad.
Giving HCE's story this grand, almost martial weight. Though the Iliad is also about disaster and struggle, isn't it?
Very much so. And that phrase, fall and rise, it's absolutely crucial. It's maybe the central motif in Finnegans Wake.
The whole cycle.
The cycle of history, human experience, sleep and waking, birth and death. Even the book's structure loops back on itself, embodying that fall and rise. It's the engine of the whole thing.
It feels like this constant eternal rhythm.
It is, but what's brilliant here is how Joyce doesn't just leave it as an abstract idea. He immediately grounds it in something really concrete, some lovely natural imagery.
Right, the next line. Daisy winks at her pinker sister among the tussocks. It sounds so innocent. Pastoral.
Almost. A common daisy, Bellus perennis,
Yeah.
beautiful, familiar, but then tussocks, small clumps of grass, yes, but you can't help but hear the pun.
On buttocks, oh, Joyce.
Exactly. A little bit earthy, a little bit risque, right there in the middle of the daisies. And the next bit, the copole between the shafts mocks the couple on the car.
Oh, that's Irish for horse, Capall, isn't it?
It is. So the horse, stuck between the carriage shafts, is mocking the human couple in the carriage. It's this playful subversion again.
So even in this idyllic scene, you've got the fall from pure innocence, the rise of the suggestive.
And Joyce using puns, using Irish, to load even simple descriptions with hidden jokes, commentary, turning the scene into something much more complex and suggestive. It's how he works, in miniature.
He never lets you rest on the surface, does he? Every word is potentially loaded, and the journey continues through this landscape of meaning. Page 53, line 11, gives us this really complex phrase. How on the other side of his big beltry your tears and close your nose in paradigm may re-rise in Erin.
That's a dense one.
It really is. You've got Howth in there, the big landmark near Dublin, playing on other words. Whispers of belt and belfry, maybe architecture, structure.
And then the wordplay kicks in?
Yeah, dry your tears, close your nose. But beneath that, tears could be Danish for bull, or the Norse god Tyr.
Linking to mythology, deeper roots, and nose might suggest noesis thinking, mental processes.
And then the core of it. Paradigm may re-rise in Erin. A pattern, an example. It might arise with that stutter, re-rise.
Suggesting effort, maybe difficulty in the rebirth.
In Erin, the poetic name for Ireland. Or maybe even Eden, paradise.
That Erin-Eden connection is vital. Joyce often casts Ireland as this symbolic place of potential rebirth, a lost paradise trying to recover itself, echoes of Milton's Paradise Regained.
So re-rise is like a difficult resurrection.
Possibly. A persistent attempt at renewal. And Erin also means honor in Dutch, adding another layer of aspiration. It's not just a place, it's a concept of a potentially redeemed sacred land.
And then the mood shifts slightly, a hint of consequence, following up his whip vindicative.
Referencing that old song, Follow Me Up to Carlo, about a battle, so retribution, punishment.
But vindicative also sounds a bit like indicating, doesn't it?
It does. So the whip isn't just punishment, it's also pointing the way. The path of reckoning, maybe.
And this leads us to a key symbolic pair. Thurston's, lo be bold, la arboro lo petrusu.
Lo and behold, pay attention. And what do we see? Arbor, Latin for tree. Petrus, Latin for stone.
The tree stone motif, it pops up everywhere in the wake.
Absolutely fundamental. Often symbolizing different aspects of characters. ALP, the flowing, rooted tree or river. HCE, the solid, monumental stone, or different historical periods opposing forces.
Like the Phoenix Monument in Phoenix Park, the obelisk and the trees.
Exactly. That's a perfect geographical anchor for this duality. It's a cornerstone of the Wake's symbolic language, setting up deep themes right here.
Tree and stone, AOP and HCE. Okay? And the Joyce zooms out historically. The Augustan Peace Bovum Oaks.
A huge reference, Pax Augusta, the Pax Romana, that long period of peace in the Roman Empire.
But mixed with peace be to them, like Pax Vobiscum from a church service.
Right. In that era, the Pax Romana was traditionally seen as the divinely ordained time for Christ's birth. Milton writes about it in On the Morning of Christ's Nativity.
So these august, majestic oaks, part of the tree motif, they represent this ideal of peace.
They offer this grand classical counterpoint to all the fragmentation and conflict we're starting to sense, a backdrop of historical peace against the messy human present.
It's like a moment of calm before whatever comes next.
Precisely, a reminder of the cycles of peace and conflict. And then Joyce anchors us all in a really striking visual image.
In all fortitudinous, ajacious, roud noisy tenuacity, the Angelus hour with ditchers bent upon their farm-used tensiles. Quite a mouthful.
It is fortitudinous, ajacious. You hear courage, strength, Ajax from the Iliad. It even links to that Sardinian motto, Fert. His strength kept roads.
But knowing Joyce, there's probably a pun.
Oh, yes. F-E-R-T. It's hard not to hear F-A-R-T as well. The heroic and the mundane side by side.
Classic. And road noisy tenuacity.
Boisterousness, persistence, chaos, determination, all mixed together, a kind of chaotic energy.
But then the image shifts completely. The Angelus hour with ditchers bent upon their farm-used tensiles, it's so visual.
It immediately brings to mind Millet's famous painting, The Angelus. Two peasants praying at dusk, heads bowed, tools nearby.
A moment of stillness, piety, connection to the land. a real contrast to the noise before it.
Definitely. But notice, bent upon their farm use tensiles. It implies they're focused on their work too, not just prayer. The Angelus bell marks the rhythm of faith and labor, 6 a.m., noon, 6 p.m.
So it's reverence and reality bound together, a complex, beautiful image to pause on.
And just as we have that pause, that moment of quiet toil, the soundscape shifts again. We move from the land to a figure emerging from it, a storyteller, an orator.
Someone steps forward.
Yes, we hear the soft belling of the fallow deers, Duramos genuine, advertising their milky approach as midnight was striking the hours. Idotai.
The sounds of nature, deer belling, but mixed with something else.
Right. That strange Duramos genuine seems to morph into Latin liturgical phrases. Adoremus, flectimus genua, let us adore, let us kneel, from the Good Friday Mass.
Followed by levate, rise, and letate.
So the natural world, religious ritual, and that core fall-rise motif are all woven together. And midnight was striking the hours. It connects to the Angelus, but marks a different point in the cycle. Sacred time, natural time, all blending.
It's incredible how he does that, weaves it all together seamlessly.
Yeah.
And then this figure arrives, and how brightly the great tribune outed the sharkskin smoke wallet imitation. Or from his frock, kippers, and by Joshua, he tips on a topping swank cheroot.
The great tribune, a figure of authority, judge, protector, maybe even a demagogue. And he makes a show of pulling out this wallet.
A sharkskin smoke wallet, but imitation. That feels important.
Hugely important. It's not real sharkskin. It's a shiny fabric, often worn by people trying to look wealthy. The swells. So right away, appearance versus reality, performance.
He's putting on a show. And he tips on a topping swank cheroot, a fancy cigar.
First rate, stylish. And he says, none of your swellish soid, quite the reverse, pretending modesty maybe,
Oof.
or claiming genuine taste over mere showiness.
Swellish soid. Sounds like, well, stylish, but also suede, expensive.
Possibly. And maybe even the Greek oidio, to swell. It's packed with hints of inflated image performance. This tribune, likely another HCE figure, is all about the showmanship, projecting an image that might not be quite real.
Okay, hold on, because this next bit, it gets really interesting and pretty shocking, actually.
This is where the tribune makes his offer.
Yes, and how manfully he says, pluck to pluck and leakin for lukin. He was to just pluggy well, suck that brown boyo, my son, and spend a whole half hour in Havana.
Wow. Okay, let's unpack that. Manfully. sounds like manfully. But you can hear fall of man in there too, can't you? Hinting at a moral lapse.
And pluck to pluck and leakin for lukin.
Cheek to cheek. It uses Irish words for cheek, pluck, lyson, and references of places like leakin and lukin. It's playful, local.
But then, the shocking part. Suck that brown boyo, my son, and spend a whole half hour in Havana.
Yeah, there's no mistaking the strong sexual undertones here. Brown boyo was slang for penis, even in Ulysses, and Havana in the 20th century had a reputation in some circles.
As a place for homosexual encounters, boy prostitutes.
That's the implication, yes. So this figure of authority, the tribune, is making this incredibly suggestive, morally dubious, transgressive offer.
And this connects directly to that recurring incident, the cad in the park.
Absolutely. This is a version of the encounter with the cad, the moment that seems to trigger HCE's fall or brings his character into question. Though, as the source notes point out, this version is perhaps rather flattering to HCE, as he's the one making the offer here, not being propositioned.
Still, it exposes those power dynamics, doesn't it, between the older figure of authority and the boyo?
Profoundly. It touches on themes of corruption, hidden desires, potential abuse of power. Joyce uses slang, double meanings, to force us to confront these really uncomfortable aspects of human nature lurking just beneath the surface.
It's bold, unflinching stuff.
It is, and it reveals so much about HCE's psychology, his anxieties, the secrets he might be hiding.
Okay, so from that morally fraught moment, the scene shifts again, becomes more formal, but still deeply strange. A meeting.
Yes. Sore of the Kriegsmen, would not Thor be old high Gothsprog? Wherefore he met master, he mean to say, he do sire, bester of red publicans, at Inglepock Hostel on Lorenzo Tully Street.
The tone changes immediately. It's subservient. He mean to say he do, sire. Almost stuttering, deferential.
And look at the language. Sore, sister, Kriegsmen, Danish warriors, Thor, Gothsprog, old High German, Goths, Danish. It connects the moment to this deep, Germanic, Nordic warrior past.
And this speaker meets master, who must be HCE again.
Always HCE, in different guises.
At the Eaglecock Hostel, which was a real place.
A real tavern in Dublin, yes. associated with the United Irishmen political intrigue.
On Lorenzo Tooley Street,
Yeah.
that's St. Lawrence O'Toole, patron saint of Dublin, and Tooley Street in London, where the three tailors claim to be the people of England.
Exactly. Blending Dublin's sanctity with London political cheeks. And the master is called Bester of Red Publicans.
Which could mean swindler of Republicans.
Or Best of Republics, echoing Lafayette. Or even Bedstee, Danish for grandfather. He's a leader, a trickster, a patriarch, all at once.
This master HCE figure contains multitudes. And then comes the wish. This is truly bizarre.
It really is. And how he wished his honor the bannocks of Gort and Moria and Brehead and Punnyrick, your loudship, and a starch-box sitting in the pit of his Saint-Tummics.
Bannocks, that's a type of bread, right? Like oatcakes.
Yes, but here it clearly means blessings, echoing an old Irish blessing invoking God, Mary, Bridget, Patrick. And the places Gort, Moira, Brehead, Crow Patrick are all real, specific Irish locations, grounding the wish in the land.
But the really weird part,
Huh.
a starch box sitting in the pit of his Saint-Tummics. What on earth does that mean?
Well, a starch box was used in laundries, mundane, pit of the stomach, a physical place often for anxiety or indigestion. Saint-Tummics brings in St. Thomas a Becket, St. Thomas's Church in Dublin.
Sacred, profane, domestic, historical, all jumbled up.
It seems to imply wishing discomfort on his honor, doesn't it? A burden. Indigestion, physical, moral, spiritual, a heavy, strange blessing.
A very strange blessing, like wishing someone a permanent stomachache, but symbolically.
And Joyce flags it himself. The narrator jumps in. A strange wish for you, my friend, and it would poleaxe your sonson's grandson utterly, though your own old sweat-and-swore Florence heaved it hotch many as the times when they were terrified by the hits.
So the wish isn't just strange, it would poleaxe, stun, knock down future generations.
Exactly. It's about legacy. This burden, this starch box in the pit, is something that past generations, the sweat-and-swear Florence, flourished, but through toil, they heaved it hosh. German for high, maybe suggesting grand efforts like at a wedding, Hochzeit.
But they were still terrified by the hits. German for heat, intense pressure.
Yes. It connects past struggles, burdens, maybe sins, directly to future consequences. A cyclical trauma passed down. Even seemingly archaic wishes can carry this immense weight through time. The past is never dead. It's shaping the future.
That's a powerful image of generational burden. And it leads us right into the next section, shifting from that personal encounter to broader history.
Immediately, we get plunged into these historical conflicts with political cheers and curses.
Chee-chee cheers for Up King Billy and Crow Cramwells is down a boo. Up boys and had him. It's instant historical conflict.
Vividly so. King Billy, William III of Orange, Victor at the Boyne, hero to Ulster Protestants, and against him, Crom Cruach, that ancient bloody idol, merged with cruel Cromwell, Oliver Cromwell, reviled in much of Ireland for his brutal campaigns.
Two figures representing centuries of division.
And Joyce just throws them together. Up King Billy versus Down a Boo County, down to victory, that direct up-down conflict. Hot boys and had him. A call to action echoing military cries. Its history as lived, shouted conflict.
And it's important we note here, we're just reporting how Joyce presents these figures and the cheers associated with them, not endorsing any particular historical viewpoint ourselves.
Absolutely. Joyce is capturing the echoes of these figures in collective memory, how they become these potent, often divisive symbols. It shows how history isn't just in books, it's in these persistent cheers and curses.
And this vivid, almost violent historical shouting then shifts to something much more melancholic.
A lament for the lost past. See, oil beam, they're lost. We found Remembrancers, their hours to date link these heirs to here, but where are those yours of yesterdays?
Oil beam, like faded oil paintings of ancestors, their images getting lost.
Seems likely. And found Remembrancers, a lovely phrase, like found fond remembrances, but also invoking Rembrandt, the painter known for his deep, searching portraits. We find traces, echoes.
But the originals are gone. Where are those yours of yesterdays? Sounds like Villon. Where are the snows of yesteryear?
Exactly, that famous universal lament, where does the past go? Who were they? Who are we without them? It asks you, the listener, directly, where are your yesterdays?
It's poignant, this sense of loss, the ephemeral nature of memory.
And Joyce connects it to the Wake's own fragmented style. History leaves traces, but it's never fully recoverable, always shifting. But these lost figures aren't entirely gone, they reappear.
As archetypes.
Precisely. Look at the next line. Far-seeing, the rich, and pool woman, Curthurcus, and his Anne van Vogt.
Okay, break those down. Vercingetorix.
Vercingetorix, the Gaul who fought Caesar. Also Prometheus, the Foreseer, both often identified with HCE.
Cool woman. Poor old woman. Shan van Vogt.
Yes, the symbolic figure of suffering, resilient Ireland.
Caractacus. Caractacus, the British chieftain who fought the Romans. Also HCE.
Often, yes, HCE as this figure of resistance against empire. And Anne van Volt blends Anne, the magistrate's daughter from the Wake, with Alfred Volt, Joyce's eye doctor.
Personal and historical blended. So these figures just keep re-embodying ancient archetypes.
That's the idea. History and daily life constantly recasting the same old roles.
Which leads to that question. DVD ended, or sleeping soundlessly? Are they gone? Or just waiting?
Like in the Wake cycle, nothing truly ends. It just becomes dormant, ready to reappear. The past isn't over, it's sleeping soundlessly.
Challenging that linear view of time again.
Completely. And then, as if to say, pay attention to the cyclical complexity, Joyce gives us a direct command.
Favor with your tongues. Intendite. What's that drawing on?
It combines Horace's Latin favete linguis, essentially be silent, pay reverence, used at religious rites, with Latin intendate, attention, and Italian intendate, listen and understand.
So it's telling us, the listeners, quiet down, focus, engage. Because things are about to get even more linguistically complex.
Exactly. Prepare yourselves for the babble.
And what a babble it is. We move into one of the most stunning sections, pages 54.07 onwards, this global chorus of voices. It's pure Joyce.
It really is a linguistic explosion.
It starts by setting the scene for this chaos. Any dog's life you list, you may still hear them at it. Like 6s and 70s is ever sure as Halley's Comet.
Even in the most miserable existence, a dog's life, if you listen, you'll hear this constant chatter. At 6s and 7s, total disorder, confusion.
And Halley's Comet, returning every 76 years. It makes the babble seem cosmic, cyclical, always recurring.
An eternal feature of the human condition. And who's babbling? Ulema men, so Brunja women, Storthing boys, and Duma girls.
The Harlemans from all over. Ulema, Muslim scholars, Persia, Sobranje, Bulgaria, Storting, Norway, Duma, Russia.
Representing all humanity. Men, women, boys, girls, diverse cultures, different systems, all pouring through this symbolic portal. It's like an early vision of a globalized world, all crammed together.
With maybe that dark undertone of the black and tans lurking beneath bleak and bronze, adding a hint of conflict too.
That's a possible layer, yes. Violence beneath the babble.
And where are they passing through? It's bleak and bronze portal of your Casa Concordia.
Casa Concordia, House of Peace, House of Harmony, the irony. This placement for harmony hosts this absolute cacophony.
Suggesting maybe harmony is the acceptance of the babble, not its silencing.
That could be it. And now, the babble itself, it's just astonishing. A flood of languages.
We probably can't break down all 15 phrases, but let's hit some highlights. What jumps out at you?
Well, the sheer playful density. Like, hurra morni, mini frickens, starts as Swedish, how are you, my young ladies? But instantly twists into something suggestive. Hooray, morni! Like a request at a show.
Classic Joyce, subverting politeness.
Or Milicienta Tragintadu Scudi, Italian, 1132 crowns. Bringing in that recurring 1132 number motif that runs mysteriously through the book.
What about the Irish Gaelic one?
Ah, yes. O thaw, brawn orm, a Cothridge, thinking thou gaily. Which is, oh, I'm sorry, St. Patrick, do you understand Irish? Cheekily asking the patron saint if he speaks the language. It's so Irish.
That's brilliant. I love the pigeon Chinese sounding one. Lik pa fle hai papa li si lan. It sounds like music almost.
You can pick out bits. Afraid, hi pap, bly hi papa, so long. But lang means wolf tying into a cry wolf motif. And lying means pair. Cool excuse. It's a linguistic knot showing how messy global communication is.
And the mix of Greek, French, Romanian. Epiado, Eku, Baptiste, to Vavanordans, Doptit Boing going. French, you're going to come in a little good corner. A restaurant name, or maybe?
Le Petit Coin. The lavatory. Probably. It's mundane, everyday stuff mixed with linguistic fireworks.
So it's not just showing off languages.
No, I think it's Joyce building his universal language by mixing existing ones, showing how interconnected we are, despite the chaos. Many phrases are just everyday things. How do you do, tea and bread?
Grounding the experiment in ordinary life.
And the irony of it all happening at the Casa Concordia, the House of Peace. It suggests peace might lie in embracing this messy multitude, not forcing one voice.
For us listening, it's maybe a prompt to hear the echoes between cultures, even in the noise.
Exactly. It forces you to listen differently, to find patterns, shared humanity, even in what seems like chaos. finding meaning in the noise.
An amazing, dizzying section.
Oh.
But then the focus snaps back. The multilingual chorus fades, and one voice takes over.
HCE again, back on the microphone, demanding attention, full of bluster and self-justification.
And straight away we know it's not sincere. "And Cod," says he with mugger's tears, "would you care to know the prize of a liard?"
Cod sounds like cad. Mugger's tears, crocodile tears fake, maybe even a pun on majesty. It signals duplicity immediately.
And the question about the liard, the small coin. That's a quote.
From Henry IV of France, yes, pretending concern for the common folks' cost of living. HCE appropriates it, but it rings false, and liard sounds like a liar.
Underscoring his untrustworthiness from the start, he's performing concern.
Definitely performing, constructing his public persona to deflect from the Havana offer, from the CAD incident. And notice how he takes control, silencing the other voices.
Magus, nick your nighty novel, mass taverners at the mic again.
Yay, tell Maggie, Issy's double, representing youthful curiosity, to hide her naughty novel, censorship. And mass taverners at the mic again.
Taverner, the composer who turned secular songs sacred, but also master of the tavern.
Blurring sacred and profane. But the key is the mic. One voice taking over, silencing the multilingual battle, replacing naughty diversity with a single, supposedly authoritative, maybe sacred voice,
Right.
like Taverner's Bible replacing other texts.
It's a power move, asserting a dominant narrative. And he describes himself. And that bag belly is the book to goat it.
His big belly, a recurring symbol of his indulgence, maybe guilt. Buck to goat it, like boy to get it, meaning responsibility or punishment. It echoes that quote about Louis XII's successor. This fat boy will spoil everything.
And connects to that goat's bleat, mig-gag-gag from Ulysses, suggesting stuttering, clumsiness.
Exactly. Even his self-description is layered with history, self-awareness, maybe self-sabotage. The bag belly embodies his flaws, his role in the story.
He's aware of his own problematic nature, perhaps.
Or at least aware of the performance of it. And the mic really symbolizes that shift from polyphony to his monologue, trying to control the story.
And what a monologue. He launches into this defensive, rambling speech. Sounds like a politician.
It has the feel of an election address, absolutely. Megeg, megay, chap-jappy fellow, I call our universe to witness. Delivered with a stutter.
Jappy fellow, hearty. I mean, ironic. Jabby nodding to the Japanese just heard. And universe, or one voice.
Both, probably. Uniting everything under his voice, contrasting with the previous babble. He then goes on about moiliffy eggs. Liffey eggs from Kildare, being known for your hundreds of mammoth, centuries of mammothsmanhood.
Claiming ancient, solid Irish credentials.
Pseudo-authoritative rambling. Then he boasts his guest house and Cowanello credits in Gasthouse, and shady dealing Kuhandel will stand open.
Like Hal Castle's Open Doors, linked to Grace O'Malley.
That's the reference. And mentioning householders who used to be the only voters, really seals the election address feel. He's appealing for trust, using stage English ahoy for I to sound grand.
He's such a performer.
Yeah.
And the description of him while he's speaking is incredibly elaborate, that huge parenthetical description.
Oh, it's amazing. Comparing his credit straightness to that neighboring monument's fabrication, the Wellington Monument in Phoenix Park. Fabrication meaning both construction and making things up.
And the hygienic globo, punning on globe in those hygienic restaurants.
Then he's the reverent Sabbath and bottle breaker. Contradiction again. Sabbath breaker, bottle breaker, a nickname for HCE, yet trying to seem reverent.
Stretching out a furbolg, a beam, or the furbolgs, or bark.
All possible. He touches his tricolored boater, Irish, French, British flags, symbolizing his mixed identity, lifts it by its pickle-hoopy German pickelhaube helmet, paid Stetson 1 and a penny for it.
Precise detail, thrift, maybe lies, and he's sweating.
Oleaginosity of ancestralosis scathulated down his Mutsuhito lip-tails. Sweat, oiliness, trickles down his mustache ends.
Mutsuhito, Japanese Emperor Mutsuhito, 6 persons. Ancestralosis, ancestral sclerosis, neurosis. He's literally sweating under the weight of his past, his inherited issues.
Yet he's described, ironically, as modest, sencapitulo, a more modestuous conciliabulite. Sencapitulo Esperanto for without money, conciliable secret meeting.
And what's he doing while delivering this performance?
He's cordially inviting the adolescents who he was wising up to do in like manner what all did, inviting the adolescents hinting at adulation, whom he's wising up teaching, maybe corrupting, to imitate him.
Passing on his ways, good or bad.
That's the unsettling question. Is it mentorship or transmission of flaws? The cycle continues.
And the whole speech ends. Where? Lo, before the great schoolmasters. The final judge is the great schoolmaster, God, some higher authority. Lobe puns on globe, love. He's under ultimate scrutiny.
But then comes the kicker.
The final lines. I tell you no story, smile. After that incredibly complex, contradictory, revealing monologue, he denies it was even a story.
Forcing us to question everything. What is truth? What is narrative?
And that command to smile, it's so performative, maybe even a bit menacing. Joyce's ultimate trick, leaving us hanging, questioning the nature of the reality he's just constructed.
Oh, just...
Wow.
Wow. What an incredible few pages. We went from a landscape to history, language, identity, all swirling together.
Yeah.
Joyce shows how a simple starting point can just spiral outwards into this profound exploration of, well, everything.
We really saw those key themes.
Yeah.
Identity shifting constantly, history looping back on itself, the sheer power and chaos of language.
And that constant tension between the sacred and the profane, the public face and the private messiness underneath. The layering is just extraordinary.
And that final disclaimer, I tell you no story. That feels like the key, doesn't it?
It really does. Joyce is telling us, perhaps, that the lack of a simple, straightforward story is the story. The story of our fragmented, contradictory, messy, but incredibly rich human existence.
So Finnegans Wake doesn't just want us to read passively.
Not at all. It forces you to be an active participant, to embrace the babble of tongues, the shifting meanings, not hunt for one single easy answer. Lean into the ambiguity.
Listen harder to the different voices, maybe.
Yes. And find a deeper, richer, maybe messier, but more resonant truth in doing so. Look beneath the surface, find the echoes.
So, thinking about all that, after exploring this kaleidoscopic view of identity and narrative, what story do you find yourself telling about the complex and contradictory figures in your own world, the people around you, the figures from history that still shape things?
That's a great question. And maybe, too, how might listening more closely to the babble of tongues around you, the different viewpoints, the different ways people speak and think, reveal deeper connections, or perhaps that richer, messier truth we were just talking about?
Something to definitely chew on. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into Joyce's universe today. It's always a rewarding challenge.
It's always fascinating.
We really encourage you to revisit these pages, maybe listen again, and definitely continue your own exploration of the Wake. Until the next session, keep diving deep.